All right. Okay, so for today, if you would go ahead and open up DBQ Online, and you're going to go ahead and open it up to document A. What we were talking about yesterday was, kind of scaffolding and building upon the DBQ Online part, so that way you're not just having it thrown at you and go all the way through and write an essay and kind of building into it, okay? So yesterday we kind of understood what background essay was, and you should have answered those 5 questions plus the definitions that are going on there. So there'll be 2 separate daily grades that'll come from this assignment. The one is going to be your background essay questions, and the other one is going to be your document questions, okay? And again, kind of building into it, you're not going to answer every single one of these questions that go with it, but you're going to examine all of the documents, okay? So there's a couple things that I want you to know about a document and how to view a document, what's important about a document, and then that way you can find your answer too. So I'm going to guide you through the first one. So we look at document A, and again, it looks something like this. It's on the board. The first thing that we need to make sure that we check right here is the source right there, okay? So the source says a chart created from various sources. Now, some of those are going to say an exact person. Some of those are going to say around this time period. They're going to give different examples of exactly where the source came from, okay? Why is it important to know what the source is of a subject? What's that, ma'am? To know if it's reliable, okay? Or to know if where the viewpoint of it comes from, okay? So it is definitely something that can be reliable. It can be from where the viewpoint comes from. And it can also be sometimes like if you're studying information that happened in 1897, but it's a piece that is written from 2012, then you're looking back. Is it a first-hand account? Is it a second-hand account? What's the difference? Is it data that's gathered from it? So what is a first-hand, a primary source document? What does a first-hand account mean? What does a primary source, a first-hand account mean? All right. So if I ask you, what did you do this weekend? And you tell me what you did this weekend, that is a primary, a first-hand account. It's coming from your mouth. It's exactly what you did, okay? Now, if I ask somebody that was around you what you did this weekend, that's not you telling me. That's a secondary account, all right, or a second-hand document. Does that make sense? What's the difference between a primary and a secondary, a first-hand account and a second-hand account? Yeah, sometimes it can be skewed a little bit, right? So somebody cannot give all the information because they weren't exactly there. They weren't the only person. They're not giving a first-hand account. They may give an accurate way of what it is, okay? And I'm sure all of you have been in a situation where somebody's told a story, but it was their version of the story, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not true. That's not how it happened. Or they left out a minute detail that's very important, and you got to kind of know all of the details to be able to get the whole story. So sources are huge. The next part is this right here, where it says the title, Athens and Rome, who could be a citizen? So the title is about to tell me what the document is going to inform me of, what the major part of it is. All right, so the whole thing that's in this box should be who could become a citizen. And yesterday, that's what we talked about, was who could become a United States citizen based upon immigration, based upon new people coming in, and that was kind of our hook that was there. So the rest of it's going to give all the information. I'm going to read through it. It says free native born, all the way down to female children, all the way to slaves. It tells if they were a citizen or not in Athens or the Roman Republic, okay? What's the glaring difference between who can become a citizen in Athens and who can become a citizen in the Roman Republic? What's the automatic thing that automatically shoots right out to you? Is it easier to become a citizen in Rome or in Athens? Rome. There's a lot more yeses there, right? So if I just look at that and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yeses as compared to 1, then that's your first-hand account is automatically I can think that it's easier to become a citizen in Rome. Then it tells the requirements and it goes on to a little bit. All right. So below this is going to be 4 questions. All right. What you're going to do with each one of these documents is you are going to choose 2 of the 4 questions. All right. So 2 of the 4 questions in documents A, B, C, D, E, F. So that's a total of 12 questions is all it is. Okay. So instead of doing 24 questions, you're only doing 12. All right. You're going to pick which 2 from each document you want to. You can all do different answers, all do different questions, but you have to pick 2 from each one of these. All right. So as a class, I'm going to read these questions to you, and then let's choose 2 of these, and we'll do this first document together. Okay. The first one says, what was required for an adult male to become a citizen in Athens? A Roman male. So there's 2 answers to that one. Number 2, could women become citizens in Athens and Rome? And could slaves? Number 3, in which society were children granted citizenship? If I'm you, that's the one I'm already picking right now is number 3. All right. Number 4, in your opinion, which system, Athens or Rome, was more generous in granting citizenship to its people? Well, we kind of answered that already by saying which one has the more yeses than nos on there. So number 4 may be a good one that's in there. All right. So which ones would you guys rather answer right there? You want 2 and 3? Okay. All right, got one speak up, so we're going with it. So number 2 says, could women become citizens in Athens and Rome? So I'm going to go back up to the document. I'm going to find that says adult males, that's out. Free native born adult females, and then it says female children. Okay, so I'm looking at this one right here, and I'm looking at this one right here. So it says in Athens, can they become citizens? No and no. Okay, because there's no for female here and there's no for female here. What about Rome? Yes and yes. All right, so we slide down to our question number 2, and it says, could women become citizens in Athens and Rome? And you're going to say, yes, they could become citizens in Rome, but not in Athens. Yes, they could become citizens in Rome, but not in Athens. You want to type that in. Okay, so the next part of the question says, could slaves? So we go back up here and it says free. So I'm not looking at that one. Free slaves, freed slaves, sons of freed slaves. All right, so these bottom 3 are the ones we look at. Slaves, freed slaves, and sons of freed slaves. They're all technically classified as slave. All right, so Athens, no, no, and no. Roman Republic, no, no, and yes. So if I want to condense all this together, I would say right here, could slaves become citizens? In both societies, only, let's see, in both societies, they could not. Only exception is Roman sons of freed slaves. I'll repeat that one more time. In both societies, they could not. Only exception is Roman sons of free slaves. And then that's your answer for number 2. It says, in both societies, they could not. Only exception is Roman sons of freed slaves. So that bottom part right there. Is my answer like descriptive? Is it say exactly what it is? It's not just yes or no. Okay, so when you answer these questions, make sure you fill them in with something that actually puts it in there. Okay, the other one you said you want to do is number 3. Okay, in which society were children granted citizenship? On so male, female, children. children. So these are the two I'm looking at. All right. Athens, yes or no? No. Roman Republic, yes or no? Yes. All right. So in which society were children granted citizenship? Only in the Roman society were children granted citizenship. Okay. And then that's my answers. And you don't just put Roman in there. You got to answer the question kind of in a full statement that goes along. So number 3, in which society were children granted citizenship? Only in the Roman society were children granted citizenship. Okay. So we've done one document. So therefore you only have 5 left. All right. And you only have 2 questions per 5 documents. So that's 10 total questions left. All right. By the time you get done with that, that's going to be your assignment for today. And that's all we're going to do on the DBQ for this week. Next time we do a DBQ, we'll build upon that. What's important about the documents? If I'm writing an essay, what's important about the documents? What's that? Okay, being descriptive, because you're going to gather your information for your essay based upon the facts that are laid in front of you by the documents. That's the reason why you really need to answer the questions and kind of know what's going on in the documents, because that's what tells you what to write. That's the easy part of it right there. Okay, so for today's assignment, go through B, C, D, E, F, answer 2 questions apiece from whichever you choose. Make sure that your background essay questions were answered. All right. And then once you submit those, you're good to go. And that is your assignment for the day. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about one of the pre-bucketing.
You do not have to do the pre-bucketing. No, ma'am. Only thing you got to do is the background essay questions and then the document 2 apiece questions. Yes.
How do we submit them?
They automatically save whenever you go in. Just to check and make sure, go back like through a document and make sure it's there. But it should automatically save just like Google kind of Docs does. Any of the Google Docs does. Okay. All right. Get after it then.